Hey yo, what is up? Today I've got two tanks for you, both from the Italian tank destroyer line. The first one is the Tier 10 Contra Caro 3 Minotauro, and the second one is the Smv Cc-67. Both are Tech 3 Italian tanks. So it looks like the Italian tank destroyer is going to debut before even the Czech tank destroyer line, which was the TVP, and I don't know why they did it this way, but it does look like the Italian tanks are going to hit the market before the Czech tank destroyer line. So let's go through what the initial stats are. Still very early days, but you get a glimpse into what to expect from the Italian tank destroyer lines. Of course, they're famous for their auto loading magazines, or auto I don't know if this is going to be an auto reloader or just a straight auto loader, but I think it's just going to be a regular auto loader. And yeah, this is the Tier 10 one, the Contra Caro 3 Minotauro, and let's just go through the stats quickly. 700 horsepower on a 57-ton tank, and the power to weight ratio is 12.17, which makes it kind of very low. Top speed 36 kilometers an hour going forward, 12 going backwards. This is by and large a slow, cumbersome, heavy tank with a lot of armor in the front, I suppose. That's the idea anyway. A view range 390 meters, hull armor 300 millimeters in the front, 300 millimeters on the turret armor as well. It is slightly sloped, but to be honest with you, it doesn't look sloped enough unless you're going to be hull down and using your 10 degrees of gun depression. Then it's going to be significantly sloped, when it's looking over a ridge. But other than that, the side armor and rear armor is really poor, and this tank is a big old tall tank, so you got a huge side profile that you can shoot at, which makes it really vulnerable, and it's really slow and not a lot of agility, but you do have a 530 alpha gun with 255 standard penetration and 345 premium penetration. Again, this is an auto loader with 5 shells in the clip, but the intra clip is 8 seconds, so between shots 8 seconds, so it might as well be an 8-second gun. Might as well have a reload time of 8 seconds, because that is what in practice what it's going to be. It carries a 4-man crew, and because it's a new line of tanks, tank destroyer, you're going to need new crew, and you're going to spend resources trying to train up that new crew. Hopefully you have some crew left over from Christmas, or from ranked battles, or from clan wars, where you saved up some of your female crew or your Christmas ladies, and hopefully be able to put them in here, not using too much of your resources to get them into the tank. But I'll be honest with you, I am not really interested in the Italian tank destroyer line. We've gone through the premium Vipera, and I wasn't very interested in that. And this Tier 10, although it has a huge 530 alpha gun with decent penetration, but to be honest with you, 8 seconds of intra clip, it's not very interesting to me. It might as well be just an 8-second gun. And because of its lack of mobility, and even the view range is not that great, right? 390 meters. I don't know if this is going to be a really competitive, interesting tank to be playing with in Tier 10 compared to what is available out there. Is this tank even going to make a real impact? Next up, we're going to look at the Tier 8 Tech 3 tank that was released today, and it's already seems to be like in the super test. This is the Tier 8. It's called the what's this tank called again? Smv CC-67. Now, as you can see, it's got half the hull texture is already completed. They haven't finished the turret texture yet, but it is very familiar, very Italian. It looks like the heavy tank line. It looks like the Progetto color. So nothing, nothing too new here. We're used to it. We've seen this before, but this is the Tech Tree Tier VIII, which is the counterpart for the Viperia, which is the premium version of this tank, I suppose. This tank has 1300 hit points, 700 horsepower engine, which is pretty good. The weight 47 tons. The power to weight ratio 14.86. Again, 14.86 is not very high at all. Which means this is not going to be a very agile tank. The speed going forward 35 kilometers, going forward 14 in reverse. This means again it is not a very fast tank, not a very agile tank. Very low power to weight ratio. Rotation speed 28 degrees for the gun. Hull rotation 22 degrees per second or 23 degrees per second on the hull rotation and gun rotation. Yeah, not that great at all. View range 360 meters. Very low view range. Not great at all. Hull armor 260 millimeters. Turret armor also 260 millimeters. Again, there is a little bit of sloping in the hull and turret, but to be honest with you, it looks almost like a brick wall, right? So I think any kind of premium shells will be able to penetrate this hull and turret fairly easily. It is not incredibly sloped like the Object 780 is. It looks like a wall, slightly angled wall, but this thing does have 400 alpha damage on its gun, 226 penetration, standard pen, which is pretty good, very high penetrating standard shells, and the premium shells has 300 millimeters, which is pretty high, but again, unless you are using that 10 degrees of gun depression over a ridgeline, I don't think this armor is going to hold up very well. It is an auto loader or an auto reloader, not sure yet. I think it's just a straight up auto loader, and it has a 3-shell auto loading magazine. The intra clip is 7 seconds, so it might as well have a 7-second reload time as a regular gun. 0.40 dispersion, 2.4 seconds aim time. Again, 10 seconds of gun, 10 degrees of gun depression, 20 degrees of gun elevation. Yeah, 360 alpha gun. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. The dispersion is 0.38, aim time 2.21 seconds. I am not very interested in this tank. I don't think it is a very competitive tank. Again, I don't think the armor is really good, but it does have really good camo, 15% camo stock, which means you can get it up to 30+% once you've crewed it out completely. But the real problem that I have with this tank is the profile of the tank. If you look at the profile of the tank, the side profile is extremely huge. The side of the turret is huge as well. This thing is an easy target from a distance, and because the hull is so tall, you're gonna be easily shooting the side of it, perhaps even easily catching it on fire. Not too sure about it yet, but it is definitely it's going to be very easy to hit on the side. Just imagine a normal tank has a turret that is tall. You know, from a distance you can shoot the side of the turret, but this thing is literally on its side. The whole thing is a side turret. From the side, you know, if you're going to shoot it from a distance when it's crossing, you know, crossing the map or something, this whole thing is going to be a turret that is going to be easy to hit. So I don't think this tank has a very good survivability ratio, in my opinion anyway. But let's see what happens when they release this tank, or you know, they're going to release the premium tank first, and then we're going to have an early look at it, and I will let you know exactly what's going on. But anyway, this is a quick video for today, and that is my what I'm seeing so far in the Tier 10 and the Tier 8 Tech 3 Italian tank line. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. I hope you got some useful information, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.